All right, everyone, this is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, we're doing a wonderful video today because I had to think about it the other day. And I was, you go back and you ponder Daniel Jones's career. You look at what he's done, you look at what he hasn't done, and you look at his lineage or his progression on the New York Giants landscape. And I've come to one fact, and it's almost an undisputable fact, that his career has wrecked the career of multiple head coaches for the New York Giants. And he could technically be labeled the coach killer. But you know what's also a killer? Did you ever look at how much you're paying for wireless? Today's video case, of course, we are partnering with our guys, Mint Mobile, the greatest wireless company around. And I'm not just saying that. I am a Mint Mobile member. But right now, I always tell the story. I go back and I look at the fact that this other company I had, I was paying this exorbitant amount. And was it worth the quality? Was it worth the service? In my mind, no. And with Mint Mobile, you've seen the commercials. You've seen Ryan Reynolds. We've said it before. They make you smile. They make you laugh. They make you think. But what's better than being on one of the fastest 5G networks around, having a quality service at a reasonable price? Everything's going up in this world. Everything. And you know what? You shouldn't be able to support a small country by just paying your wireless bill, because that's what it's like. Mint Mobile offers plans that are as low as $15 a month. Again, Mint Mobile is our proud partner. We've been partnering for almost a year now. They're built on one of the nation's fastest 5G networks, and they keep the cost low because I always think it's me. They sell directly online to you. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now, something that's going to blow your mind. And this is something going on right now through December 30th. You go to the link below, try mintmobile.com/bigblue, get premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month. You buy 3 months, you know what you get? They're going to give you 3 months for free. I'm going to say this again. You buy premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month, Mint Mobile is going to give you an additional 3 months for free through December 30th. You can't beat that. Again, quality service. And you know what the best thing is about Mint Mobile? You don't want to go to the freaking store. I hate going to the wireless store. I hate it. You go online, you order it, it's there in a couple days. You can get one of those virtual SIM cards if your phones take it. If it doesn't, you know what they send you? They send you a SIM card for free. You plug it in and you type it in. You're up and running like in 5 minutes. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a genius. But I understand. This is how easy it was for me to get on Mint Mobile. Literally took me 5 minutes. That's trymintmobile.com/bigblue. Get premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month. Buy 3 months, get 3 months for free. That is only through December 30th, one of the fastest 5G networks around. Daniel Jones's career, one of the fastest things around, is in reference to killing coaches, killing their careers. And I had to think about this for a minute. And some people are going to look at the thumbnail and go, Tim, I see you have the doo-doo in there, the Maca-doo-doo. And I thought about it. I'm like, and in some regards, this all started with the McAdoo, Daniel Jones. If the Maras and the Tishes and whomever would have listened to McAdoo, and they would have drafted they would have drafted Patrick Mahomes like he wanted to, none of this would be an issue. We wouldn't be sitting here 5 years later looking at this and saying, oh, we have to give him another 5 years to know what we have. And after 10 years, we might know what we have in our quarterback. No, this would have ended. We would have had Patrick Mahomes, and that would have been it. So if you want to look at where the seed was planted for Daniel Jones, it is the Mahomes draft. And in some regards, them not taking Mahomes and them sticking with Eli Manning killed the doo-doo's career, and then in turn killed three other coaches' careers almost, or two other coaches now, one almost a third on the way right now, because of the fact that if he would have taken Mahomes and did what he did, none of this would happen. So the seed was planted with the doo-doo. And then what happens is Shurmur comes in, and you got to love Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur was an a-hole extraordinaire. We all know that. There's no getting away around that. Brilliant offensive coordinator. I've said it before. He reminds me of Joe Bugle. Joe Bugle was a great offensive coordinator for the Redskins and multitudes of other teams, but then he just wasn't very good at being a head coach. So he had Eli Manning that first year. Didn't go well. So in 2019, what happens? He goes out and they take the 6th overall pick, and it happens to be Daniel Jones. Told the story before, told it a million times before. I was sitting at my kitchen table listening to I think it was Skip Bayless. I don't remember. And we're on the radio, and it was said, well, there's a surprise team that is looking at Daniel Jones, and we're going to tell you who it is when we come back. And I said it before, and I put my head down. I said, please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. And then it comes back and said, the New York Giants may take a surprise pick in Daniel Jones. So in that 19 draft, we take Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, of course, plays in 13 games, starts 12, goes 3 for 9, barely cracks 60 yards complete. 60 percentage. I can't even talk, guys. His completion percentage is 61%, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Most of those touchdowns came in a span of about 3 games, had the multitudes of fumbles, was sacked still 38 times in 12 games. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a minute. Was still sacked 38 times in 12 games. And at the end of the day, Shurmur knew what he had in his quarterback, and he understood the fact that you are going to take Daniel Jones and you are going to make him almost a single read quarterback. You're going to cut the field in half. You're going to give him an intermediate option, a check down option, and the start option is to run. And then most of the times you're going to tell him to throw to a spot. Now, what happens when you do that is you cut half the field down. We've said this before. You're not cultivating the quarterback. You are trying to build wins. And Shurmur in his second year needed to win because it was already going downhill for him. And then you're saddled with a rookie quarterback who you're pretty much, and in some regards, you seem to be the edict from management that you must play the rookie, because Eli never got really a fair shot that year until Daniel Jones went down. And you had the fan base. And let's be honest, guys, I was at that first preseason game. People booed Eli Manning when he came out and cheered Daniel Jones like he was a hero. You just wanted something different. You were tired of vanilla and you thought you had Rocky Road. But at the end, Rocky Road gave our coach diabetes, put him on life support, and he gets fired at the end of the season. And there was some scuttlebutt and some talk that if there was another year with Shurmur, Daniel Jones would be a better quarterback. I don't think so. I think the progression into 2020, into the Judgian era, after the false hope got Shurmur fired in 19, I think the Judgian era kind of just told us what Daniel Jones was. Played in 14 games, started 14 games, was 5-9. Again, barely over a 60% completion percentage, 2,943 yards, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, fixed some of his fumble problems, but was still sacked 45 times. We're seeing a progression here yet, right, guys? We're going to get to that progression. And that was a false hope season for Judge because the Giants finished 6-10. They have the ability to potentially make the playoffs at the end of the year. But again, we talk about, you know what? If you're a 6-10 team, you shouldn't even talk about the playoffs. I still get disgusted when I hear people talk about, we could have made the playoffs in 2020. But at that year, it was, again, you didn't see a leap. You didn't see a progression. And it was the false hope that Judge and Mara and Gettleman had in Daniel Jones that kept Judge around back for 2021, because you're not going to fire a coach after one season, but you brought Judge back in 2021. And then again, Daniel Jones hurt. Only starts 11 games, goes 4-7, completes 64% of his passes, his turnover ratio comes down a little bit. He only has 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, 2,400 yards, but again is sacked 22 times in 11 games. Are we seeing a progression here yet? And at the end of the day, it was, again, that false hope, that false belief in Daniel Jones. He's going to make that leap in year 3, technically got Judge fired as well. And then I laugh because it's the blind faith, it's the blind hope that two coaches had in Daniel Jones. Now, Shurmur at first said that he wanted to pick Daniel Jones. That was his guy. But then after he was getting fired, he said, nope, it was all Gettleman. He was forced on me. I kind of believe the end that it was Gettleman and it was forced on him. I really do, because I kind of think that the Maras saw Daniel Jones as Eli Manning 2.0, and that's why they wanted to draft him. That's why they've been believing in him so much, even to the point of it being ridiculous. So, Judge also had a hand in getting himself fired. Let's be honest. Judge also had a hand in getting himself fired. But it was also, like I said, it's the fact and the belief in your quarterback. This blind belief in Daniel Jones making this Herculean jump in year 3 now. We're in year 3. So year 4 rolls around. We got Daboll. Giants go 9-7, 9-7-1. Jones goes 9-6, has his first healthy season, completes 67%, 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 700 yards rushing. Still sacked, wait for it, guys, 44 times. We're seeing a progression here, right? And the Giants make the playoffs after having a 6-2 start. They make the playoffs, which is all we talked about before, which is the worst thing in the world, because now you give Jones that $160 million. You have more false hope. You know, it's the false deity. It's the false idol. It's praying to the sun god that he is going to turn the corner at 26 years old in year 5 after we paid him. So now we go into this year. Jones is 1 for 5 in 6 games. Of course, he is injured. He's out with the neck and the ACL, only 900 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Again, sacked 30 times, 179 times for his entire career. And it was, and people are like, well, you know what? If we had Jones for a full season, we would be doing real well. Okay, let's extrapolate out of, let's take Jones's 6 starts and extrapolate them. He probably would have won 3 games. So how's that even better? And he's still taking sacks in bunches. And again, we look at this and say, Brian Daboll could potentially just maybe not get fired, but throw his hands up with this team and say, I'm done. You saddled me with a quarterback who was sacked 30 times, sacked 179 times, and we basically made look average because we talked about it before. You expand his stats in 2020, 2021, they're going to be eerily similar to 2022. They would probably finish out a little over 3,000 yards, about 15 touchdowns, anywhere between 10 to 7 interceptions, and probably have at least 40-something sacks, because that's who he is. And that's who he was going back to 2020. Some of us in the fan base saw it, but other people didn't. And potentially, I don't think they're going to fire Brian Daboll. But I have a thought process that Brian Daboll may just want to leave, especially what just happened in Buffalo with that bad loss to the Denver Broncos. That he just may want to leave and get out because of the fact that unless you are going to bring in a different quarterback, because there's talk that the Mariners and ownership wants to hang in there with Daniel Jones. He's probably not going to be back till December. So we're just going to wash away 2024 now and potentially get another coach to either quit or be fired because of this quarterback. You could, like I said, potentially have 3 coaches get fired because of blind belief in management by Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones, to me, right now, is the coach killer. We got a lot of fun videos coming up. We got the live stream on Sunday, of course, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And as always, this is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, and I'm out of here.